Hi everyone, my name is Toriana David. Today I want to discuss the strategies taken by ASEAN in managing territorial dispute in the South China Sea. For the introduction, policymakers and electoral circles have long given managing the South China Sea dispute as a great deal of thought and discussion. Naturally, the scope and seriousness of the issue that the South China Sea is facing have drawn increasing attention and concern from around the world. With its wealth of natural resources and strategic location, the South China Sea, which spans a sizable portion of Southeast Asian maritime domain and lies between the Pacific and Indian Oceans, is critical to the economic and security interests of nations both within and outside of the region. Although the South China Sea territorial and maritime jurisdiction issue immediately affect the claimant state, they should be viewed within the broader framework of the peace, stability, maritime security, and prosperity. All of them are valid concerns and of common interest to all countries. The region's peace, stability, and maritime security could be jeopardized by the ongoing developments due to the increased risk of the miscalculation and the bad trend of unilateral assertive acts. The potential for the confrontation in the South China Sea has never been more concerning. A changing regional environment marked by the big countries' geostrategic struggle has made the situation even more complicated. Key elements of ASEAN strategy. Key number 1 is ASEAN-China mechanism. China has started to gradually engage in ASEAN platform since the early 2000s and starting in 2010. It actively discusses South China Sea concerns despite its repeated preference to resolve the dispute in the South China Sea bilaterally. China membership in ASEAN is a good sign that it is prepared to resolve conflict amicably, as it opposes any attempts to internationalize the conflict and the involvement of the other parties. The 2002 DOC and ASEAN admission to the 1976 TAC were the result of China and ASEAN initial interaction. The talks aims to reduce the likelihood of military intervention in the South China Sea and stop tensions from rising over the dispute waters. The DOC is regarded as a fruitful turning point in the conflict resolution process. It is only a political statement, though does not act as a safeguard against future incidents in the South China Sea. But it was not until 2011, 9 years later, China accepted the DOC's implementation recommendation. Following China's seizure of the mischief reef in the mid-1990s, the DOC proposal was initiated. ASEAN agreed to establish a code of conduct to ease the increased tension between the claimant governments in the South China Sea. The code is meant to manage conflicts in order to foster an environment that is favorable to identifying a political or legal solution to the issue rather than serving as a dispute resolution procedure, because the disagreement is multilateral in nature. When ASEAN first approached China in 1999 about joining talks, China turned them down. However, China changed its stance in the early 2000s and shows that it was prepared to take part in the negotiation of a code to control tension. This adjustment is significant because it mirrors a change in Chinese foreign policy that acknowledges the needs of multilateral forums in communicating that idea that regional stability is not threatened by China's growing might. The second key element of ASEAN strategy is Southeast Asian Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, TAC. The 1976 TAC was ratified by ASEAN's 5 founding fathers in order to strengthen Asian leadership in regional security matters. In essence, the TAC is a conflict resolution system that sets rules for its member nations and dialogue partners to avoid using force or threats to resolve disagreements. By adhering to 6 principles that form the framework of the Code of the Conduct, such as settlement of differences or dispute by peaceful means, renunciation of the threat or use of force, and effective cooperation. This treaty notes that desire to enhance peace, friendship, and mutual cooperation on matters affecting Southeast Asia. Although the TAC is not legally binding in the South China Sea, the dispute resolution process must be seen in the context of creating a code of conduct among participating nations to deter using force of threats to resolve disagreement among themselves. Furthermore, the TAC permits those signatories who do not have a claim to the South China Sea to contribute significantly to the conflict. According to the Article 16 of the TAC, this should not preclude the other high contracting parties not party to the dispute from offering all possible assistance to settle the said dispute. Such offer of aid should be welcomed by disputing parties. The third element of ASEAN strategy is Meeting of ASEAN Defense Minister, ADMM+. In order to promote ASEAN member nation cooperative conduct in defense-related cooperation, ADMM was founded in 2006. By creating ADMM+, ADMM expanded its membership to include 8 dialogue partners: Australia, China, India, Japan, the Republic of Korea, New Zealand, the Russian Federation, and the United States. In order to guarantee strategic stability and a stable balance of power in East Asia, especially in Southeast Asia. By providing the 8 dialogue partners with a chance to interact with ASEAN collectively on non-traditional security issues and foster confidence, ADMM Plus has significantly advanced multilateral cooperation through strategic dialogue and practical security cooperation since its inspection in 2010. In order to address transnational security issues like maritime security, counterterrorism, disaster management, peacekeeping operation, and military medicine, Asian member states can receive material assistance for capacity building from economically and military capable plus partner through ADMM plus. For Asian member state, ADMM plus has 2 purposes. The first purpose is it enables Asian member states with differing capacity in addressing shared security challenges to access dialogue partners, defense and economic resources in others to increase capacity. Second, it provides a forum for fostering trust and strengthening defense cooperation with big countries outside of the region in non-traditional security domains. The fourth key element of ASEAN strategy is Regional Forum of ASEAN ARF. The Asia-Pacific ARF was founded in 1994 as a forum for deliberating and consulting on contemporary regional security concerns and formulating collaborative strategies to improve peace and security in Asia-Pacific area. ARF is an organization that promotes mutual trust in others to bring out lasting peace, not a collective defense or regional security administration. In order to achieve comprehensive security in ASEAN, the ARF process will move through three stages. First, confidence building. Second, preventive diplomacy. And third, the development of conflict resolution institution. The ARF follows ASEAN consensus diplomacy approach, which aim to manage and lessen issues rather than find solutions. ARF initial goals was to domesticate China foreign policy practice and persuade China to adopt Asian standards. By increasing defense transparency and encouraging amicable and cooperative resolutions to the conflicts, the approach aims to curb China's aggressions against other South China Sea claimant states. In order to balance the restraint China's powers, other regional powers, especially the United States and Japan, are also invited to join. In contrast, China joins the ARF in order to stay included in the regional organization. In order to demonstrate its involvement with Southern Asia and allay worries about Chinese threat to the area, it also felt compelled to join the ARF. In order to demonstrate its involvement with Southern Asia and allay worries about the Chinese threat to the area, it too felt too necessary of join the ARF. As a result, the ARF is viewed as a helpful tool for dealing with China's rise. The regional alliance plans to socialize China to the extent that it becomes a responsible regional power through the use of a cooperative security strategy. In conclusion, the significance of the South China Sea from an economic and geopolitical standpoint was discussed, along with the history of the contested regions and the genesis of the claim based on the claimant government's legal and historical foundation that the South China Sea conflict have been effectively addressed by Asian current system, particular Asian-led institution. China foreign policy and attitude on the issue have been softened by Asian, which has efficiently promoted regional interaction with China and move away from a purely bilateral strategy to a multilateral one. According to the article, China was determined to resolve the conflict amicably and oppose any attempts to internationalize them or engage outside party. Through a number of Asian organizations, China also recently started working together on development projects with Asians and individuals claimant states. China has loosened its position and become more accommodating in agreeing to negotiate with Asians on the South China Sea problem as a result of its involvement in Asian-led forums like the ADMM Plus and the ARF. The result indicated that Asian engagement in the conflict has improved mutual trust, understanding, and confidence building between China and Southeast Asian claimants. Through a number of Asian-led and Asian-led arrangements such as the 1976 TAC, ADMM, ADMM Plus, and the ARF, the region has maintained peace and stability and avoided military crisis. Thank you. That's all from me.